What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop MLB DFS conversation starts right now. We are early. Why are we on early at 4:30 as opposed to our standard 5 o'clock on the East Coast? This is why, by the way. This is why you turn on those notifications so you know we go live. We're early on a Wednesday because the slate starts early. A lot of games starting at 6:35, 10 games in total. Some games still going down as far as the afternoon slate. You got myself, Kirkies, Kirkwood, Kid Yahoo, leader of the Juggalos, leader of Tiny Hands Nation. We're here for the next hour and 10 minutes or so until we yield to chief mineralogist Kevin Roth. Stevie's coming on as well. Additionally, you get two-time millionaire winner Dave Potts. Cheese is good. Kirkwood, this is our first, unless I forgot it, just kind of blocked it out. This is our first baseball show this year, I believe. Yes, maybe it's our second. Might be our second. It was spectacular.
I've done some crunch time, I think.
Okay.
Maybe we did a couple. Oh, you were out, I think, too, when I did something.
Okay. Yeah.
But
we've yet to cross paths.
I think we probably did cross paths. Oh no, we did an NBA show. We got fired. We got feisty in the backstage before that.
I'm still very mad at you.
Water under the bridge. Water under the bridge.
Kirkwood, how are things? Everything all right? Are we excited about tonight's 10 gamer? Because I'll set the table. The pitching is gross. The weather's gross. Pitching's gross. The weather's gross. The Dodgers have a 5-team total again because it's a day ending in Y. That's just how it's been. We also the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels, not of Anaheim. That's implied. We can't actually. It's not in the name anymore. They realize that does not market well, and around the world, they have a 5-team total because pitching is rough there in Texas. Patrick Corbin still doing his thing, throwing baseballs today versus the Angels. Angels locked in for 9 on the road. They're throwing eight righties at Patrick Corbin. Most games are early or fairly early. We have a bunch of lineups so far. We do not have the Yankees just yet at 7 o'clock. Let's just dropped on us. Athletics, again, cold. In Chicago, it's 40. It's just cold everywhere. Not the best baseball weather, but again, it's still good. It's good in Tampa. They're outside of the Trop. 79 degrees tonight. Sean Newcomb taking on Zach Littell. No Bregman. Bregman's having a baby. He did the old reverse. He banged out a couple homers. Then he's still going out for the kid. Typically, it's the narrative street and the game back. Yeah, man. And we're going to talk about pitchers, whether you like it or not, Kirkwood. We have to.
I don't think it's that bad.
You don't think it's that bad?
No.
Okay. I look forward to.
We've got some arms. I mean, we don't have like all aces or anything, but we've got some good arms on this.
Or any.
Slate. The only complaint I have about this slate would be to kick off the Dodgers Rockies game. Like, do we really have to wait?
I was thinking the same thing.
8:05 to 10:10. It's like, come on. Like, I have to get up at like 6:30 in the morning now, and I was up sweating every last pitch of the Dodgers game last night, and I bubbled. It was crazy. But anyway,
I was loaded up on Baltimore, so my night was over really, really quickly.
We did some Baltimore. Baltimore stinks right now.
It was a bad day for your boy.
Yeah, it was bad all around. No, I catch some things. It just in the 888, I literally was the stone cold bubble on just one lineup. But so I didn't go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep, but I didn't go to sleep. But anyway, like, just cut that out and everything can be fine. It's like I can't do this 4.5 hours of sleep. It's not sustainable every night if I go through the week like this. We got NBA now, good NBA now, I should say, as opposed to what we've had the last few weeks.
Am I a bad Heat fan? Am I a bad Heat fan if I'm actively rooting for them to lose tonight?
Of course.
No, I'm a sharp Heat fan. No, not of course.
The Bulls are going to whoop them.
I hope so. But like, I think Miami wins.
Who can stop Josh Giddey? He's
kind of hurt. He's playing with something.
With his hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been incredible against Miami. He's actually averaged a triple-double against Miami. He's been a revelation this last 2 months or so of the season, whatever it is, ever since they got rid of Levine, right? Yeah. I mean, the backstory, of course, is that Miami, their pick is lottery protected, and and if they don't make the playoffs, they lose their pick. And then you give me a 2% chance at Cooper Flag, whatever it is, 2% chance at Flag, like a franchise changing player versus a 0% chance of winning a title. Which would you rather have? Which is actually more valuable? You know,
I would say I don't need the 2% at a top player. I'm gonna draft better anyway, and smarter, and we're gonna find the real gems out there, and never have your team fold in the playoffs, because teams can make a run. It's just
no. They're not making a run. Stop it.
Tyler Hero. What if Tyler Hero never misses another 3?
What if? Yes, that's what we're banking on. But I saw somebody in chat asking about the roof in Texas. There is Globe Life Field's tweet. It is closed tonight. It is closed in Texas. Chat, let me know if I'm a good fan or a bad fan. I'm a smart fan. I'm a savvy fan. I'm thinking about next year. This year's over. You know, what's the point of getting walloped in the first round 4-0 against Cleveland? Why do we want that? We don't want that. Give me a puncher's chance, or maybe we can get the 3 pick or the 2 pick. Okay. That's the way the system is set up. I know it's stupid. That's the way it's set up, but you're just encouraged to root against your players and your team. That's how it goes.
I've always labeled you as a quitter. Anyway, so it doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying, but that's fine. No worries. All right. 10 gamer. Yesterday was a disaster for me. Bad for you. Even worse. I guess it's better to have like you're knocked out in the first hour.
Pepio, right?
Well, I had some Pepio. It wasn't necessarily.
He had 10 strikeouts. Great, phenomenal play.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
tough ballpark there in Tampa, and especially wait until it heats up. Wait until we get to July, and the humidity kicks in Florida. That park is going to be hopping. It's going to be spectacular for offense and tough for pitchers. But again, pulling up Ross weather report. I'll go ahead and drop that in chat as well. We'll talk about Weather Edge, but really no spots are very good outside of Tampa when it comes to hitting baseballs. You told me, give me the overview, but I'm open. I'm willing to listen, Kirkwood. You got to sell me. You got to be the pitch man. Sell me in some pitchers today, because I don't really like any of them. I have to roster. I have to click on some names. Otherwise, they won't accept my lineup. But I'm not happy about clicking on anybody, to be honest.
Well, you're not a risk taker then, so nothing I enjoy more. I played Bailey over last night. I think that was risky, but nothing I like more is to try to figure out pitching and taking on risk. And
it's fun.
Sometimes it blows up my face, but I'll say it right now. Aaron Nola is not a bad pitcher. Cheese is down on him. I see him. I played him last slate. And
strikeouts matter. And yeah,
I got 7 Ks against the Cardinals, which was pretty good when they have a bunch of left-handed bats in there on his last pitch. So he's crafty. His velocity is definitely down, but he still has that nasty curve. He still has he can strike people out. Don't get that. He can.
Johnny Cueto was crafty, and Zach Greinke was. They were. I don't want crafty.
No, he is nowhere at the point of Johnny Cueto.
But I'm saying, when you define a pitcher as crafty, that means that's code word for he's not striking people out. No. He's got to do weird things, to full hitters.
He had a good outing in his last outing. He had 7 Ks, he won 5 innings. He only gave 5 hits, 2 home runs, and the only problem was he had walks, and his curve wasn't even that good in that game, wasn't getting the strikes that it normally does. When his curve is moving, he can do it. So I like the matchup for him tonight against San Francisco. So I'm on board with him. I also
he's your first pitcher. Your first pitcher today is no. Historically, he's the best pitcher.
No, he's probably my first, but I actually like Bubic.
Okay. By the way, Tyler O'Neill's got a neck, so he cannot play baseball today.
I didn't think he had a neck.
No, he's got one. He's got one, and it's hurting.
His face is so big. It's all connected.
My favorite play yesterday, O'Neill, and that blew up my face as well. But what are you gonna do? Yes, he was scratched from the Baltimore.
That's what I saw. That Orioles kid in chat who I always talk about, who in my secret chat, the Orioles guy who's just obnoxious. He's really taking it right. He watches every spring training game and starts telling he counts his victories in the the first month, but he's not liking where they are. But when he got Tyler O'Neill, I was like, good. The guy cannot stay healthy at all. Like, period.
Typically, he has a back. It's not the neck. It's mostly the back. But now he's got
neck, my neck, and my back.
No, let's not finish that lyric. Yeah. If you're old enough, you remember that song. All right. So Bubik is your second favorite pitcher. Is that who's currently in your lineup right now? I know you don't make a lot of lineups. Do you have a shell that you're working with?
I have no shell right now. I have the suit. If I was making a shell, so I looked at the time, how much we had in time, and we have plenty of time, so I didn't need to be crunched with the shell.
We always got time, yeah.
But I assume I'm for the higher dollar single entry stuff. I'm going to try to. I mean, I want to have Angels on my lineup. I'm going to try to make it a little sneakier somewhere, whether it's pitching or what. But the pitching is wide open, so I'm not really worried about ownership. I think the only real ownership that we have to worry about from the bats is, unfortunately, the Angels. But I mean, this is like Tillman. It's like back when Tillman was on the hill. Like it's not quite as good as Tillman. Remember when they were just throwing Tillman out there? The Orioles, it was just the easiest money to just stack against him for an entire season, and then another half season he got the next because they just did not care. But
Chris Tillman,
who knows? He's
you didn't bother to learn.
He's hanging out with Chris Davis, and they're spending money. Yeah. They're spending some money somewhere.
Yeah, good for them. I'm realizing now you're doing the Friday bit. I thought you were doing the song by Kia. Which never mind.
No, I let it go, but I was doing Friday where he was my neck, my back, and my back.
The chat pointing me in the right direction.
Yeah. Anyway, so I like Bubik because whatever, the Yankees boom or bust, absolutely. It's the weather and the weather's blowing out too, right? A little bit scary for sure. But the Yankees will strike out, and Bubik looks electric, and I'm buying everything. I've been buying him coming into the season, and I'm buying what he's done. He's got a 14.7% swing and strike rate right now. Obviously, small sample for sure. Three games, 18 innings. But this year, everything looks nice. His repertoire looks nice. Low walks, and he can strike people out. And so the Yankee, if they don't smash, some home runs, then he should have a really good outing. So he's my favorite for upside. Nola's my favorite for floor. But those are
very good. He's been very good.
Other than that, I'm I can get on board with Bryce Miller. Bobby Miller, we have to have a discussion on, but this is
how deep. No, I mean, I guess we'll have that discussion. It's the old it's the Rockies, but
it's Sweaty Shavelson. What's his salary against the Rockies? You're in, kid. I would roster Sweaty Shavelson.
He's 7-7. It's not even that cheap. It's his first start of the year. If you look at his minor league stuff,
bad.
Just a disaster.
Walks.
He can't throw any strikes.
No.
His last outing, I think, was 2 1/3, or maybe 3 innings or so. He went almost 5 in the first 2, but he was wild, I think, in all of them. And he's not cheap. Maybe you're getting 5 innings if everything goes well.
Is he cheap on FanDuel? I feel like he is. Is he?
Well, FanDuel, you need that QS. You got to go 6. You don't have to, but you really want to.
He's cheap.
He's 6'3" over there. So, what is the opportunity cost of pitching is kind of the question. Is there going to be a pitcher that puts up?
Well, you didn't like pitching. You didn't like pitching tonight, right?
Well, I don't, but somebody is going to rise out of this nonsense and have an outlier game. Right? Somebody's going to put up 40 on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. Okay, so other arms I like, Robbie Ray. Upside again, chasing. Max Meyer, I'm okay with. Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah. I kind of like Pfaadt.
I like Pfaadt. You have to like Pfaadt. It's the Dogwater Marlins.
Well, it's the Marlins, and it's the ballpark, and his issue is giving up, power to lefties especially. And, the Marlins, I guess Matt Mervis is the one that you're staring at. I think he's homered in his last several games. He's got some lefty power. Griffin Conine, but also those guys will strike out a ton.
Nobody's scared of Matt Mervis.
No. He was a prospect at one point.
I know. I think I recommended him. I forgot where he came. I almost said his name wrong. I forgot where he came from.
Cubs, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the Cubs.
And then Griffin Conine.
Stowers.
Yeah, there's it's not good. They're bad. By the way, our guy Eric.
What is their long-term plan? Have they ever had a long-term plan?
Make money, and not spend money. That is their long-term plan. Making money and not spending money. They're not trying to win baseball games.
Yeah, you'd think at some point they'd try to win some baseball games.
No.
Besides the World Series a long time ago, whatever.
1997, 2003, they won the World Series twice.
Josh Beckett.
Officially been the playoffs 3 times.
Josh Beckett, right?
AJ Burnett, Josh Beckett, Dontrell Willis, Miguel Cabrera, Derek Lee. I'm combining seasons, but yeah, they were they had a couple amazing years. And you remember 1997, they won the World Series, and the very next season they completely dismantled the team. Wade Izinga, they lost like 40 or 50 more games than they won the previous. It was the biggest, most negative turnaround from a championship team of all time, because they said Bobby Bonilla was on that team. They said they were spending too much money, and they won the World Series, and allegedly, according to them, crying poor that they lost money, and then they conned the city to buy build a new ballpark, in Miami, and that was, if you dig into that stuff, don't get me started in this, but and they've changed owners multiple times over. The Jeter situation was an absolute disaster, but winning baseball games is not their priority. They just want to make money. And they're doing it, and good for them. Congratulations. You got me fired up about the Marlins. My former team. I used to root for them. That was a team I cared about, and I couldn't take it anymore. I tapped out, and I haven't looked back. And I'm not bitter. You can clearly tell I'm not bitter. Not bitter about it at all. But all right. So we have some pitchers that we're kind of sort of somewhat excited about. Bubik is interesting. We don't have a Yankees lineup just yet, right? I don't think so. Trying to see what's coming out. No Yankees just yet.
You just got a pitcher on one guy.
Say it again.
You got a pitcher on one guy, Bubik.
You're talking about pitching around. Let's see. I'm assuming you're talking about Austin Wells.
Grisham.
Trent Grisham.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of lefties on this team for what it's worth, too. I'm curious to see what their lineup is. They are projecting with Rice and Bellinger and Jazz and Wells and Grisham, projecting 5 lefties to crack that lineup. Bobby in chat, by the way, is saying he hates the Red Sox. I don't know. Is that true, or is it kind of a love? I think it's a love-hate thing with Bobby. I think he's
because yesterday, so he said he liked both sides of that game.
Yeah,
I think yesterday, right, is what he said, and he said he's hated watching them. I was listening to the show, I was watching the show as I always do.
Thank you for supporting the show.
Of course, and it looked like the Red Sox were going to break the slate at the beginning, of that game.
Bregman did
not have it, yeah, and then they go down, and then they strike out too much, and they just fizzled out a little bit, but and then the A's happened.
Yeah, man. It's another one. They're on the road.
Get your A's futures, World Series futures. Get them now.
Is this the sequel to Moneyball?
Maybe.
The thing with Moneyball is, by the way, they don't tell you that they had 3 pitchers, like 3 elite pitchers on the cheap. They don't tell you that in the story or in the movie. Mark Mulder, Isringhausen, and somebody else. Who was the third guy? They had 3 stud pitchers that didn't cost any money, which just worked. It's a perfect storm for the Athletics. Let me know in chat. You know what I'm talking about? Who's the third Athletic pitcher that I can't quite think of?
Eric Johnson's already got the ticket.
He also said in chat that Barry Zito. Yes, how did I figure out Barry Zito? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, from the Giants.
Yeah. Well, I think he wasn't in Oakland first.
Or he was from. Yeah, he went into the Giants.
I think Eric said he likes Patrick Corbin, which I love. You never know if he's trolling or not. I think he's serious, but I would just love to know what he's looking into. It says yes, Patrick Corbin. That's certainly he can survive. Like these things happen all the time where bad pitchers get away with it. But
Bido too, Bido, whatever.
Bido.
I think he's a solid play. He gets the matchup with the White Sox, right?
Great weather, right? 40 degrees. Wind's blowing in.
His whole key is he's just got to throw strikes in this matchup. and he threw a lot of strikes in his last matchup against the Padres, which is nice. He had 5 Ks over 5 innings, 28% called strike whiff, which isn't bad. He's like a completely average pitcher, but
you might be rounding up, but yeah,
but
he's not the worst. Rapsing endorsement.
I mean, that's all you need against the White Sox sometimes. So I think he's a solid play too. So what I'm saying is, and I believe in the long-term talent of Gavin Williams, and it's a good time, facing the Orioles right now. They seem ice cold.
There was a lot of hype on him coming to the season about him changing his pitch mix and his. I'm not sure if you're digging into that, all the analytics and stuff, but like the spin rate. Yeah.
I don't get in. I don't dig into spin rate. I go to another place for research that does that, and then they just say whether it's a positive pitch or not. What they really like. But I believe in everything about it. 13% swinging strike rate at the moment, which is good. I played him, and I like sweated every pitch, but he just needs to have his command on. He was the night I played him, he was just missing everything. He had a bad ump too, just missing everything high and till just like barely like an inch. But when his command is good, he's going to be good. I think he is good. So I could roll him out against the O's tonight.
By the way, we missed Spencer Strider 5 innings today. I think he had Bill Miller today behind home plate. 5 innings, 5 Ks, gave a homer, but I know he's really good in the minors as well. I did see his velocity tick down coming into this start, but good to see Strider is back. Not on the main slate, of course.
Do you see what Chris Bassett did in the same game?
Yeah. Bassett.
How a 10K was that? Bill
Bassett chalk stuck it to me today, and
I gave him corners and then some. I didn't see.
I played freaking Blanco or whatever from the Houston. I think he had 1 strikeout.
Well, you said sometimes you like to do the risky thing, and sometimes it blows up in your face. Yeah. And there you go.
Chalk. I just could not swallow Chalk Bassett against the Braves. I was like,
Bassett might be okay, and the Braves have been horrendous so far. We'll see. Once upon a time, he was pretty good. Anthony's in chat saying any Spidey Bums. I believe you guys saw TJ. TJ popped in. One of the greatest DFS players / producers in all of Saskatchewan, Canada. Every 50 likes, we get a little Spidey Bomb dropping. I don't know where we're at as far as likes, but hit that like button. And we'll get
people used to call the people, not me, but the people used to call him the P. Diddy of RotoGrinders, but couldn't do that.
I don't think that anybody called him that. I'm fairly certain that
mute. I didn't get the mute for that one.
Yeah.
I said it wasn't me. Jeez.
Well, yeah. just people are saying it's like saying no offense. Then wherever you can say it. Yeah. Before you say the mean thing, you say no offense, and you're covered, right? That's basically what you did.
Of course, that's the first thing. You've got to. Everybody knows.
You said no offense.
With all due respect, that opinion ain't worth a picture of a whale and a dolphin getting it on.
And you can also do respectfully. When you're trying to tell someone respectfully.
With respect. I think you're a complete moron. So ownership-wise, as far as on DK. It's kind of spread out. We have Bobby Miller as the most popular pitcher. And if that is the case, I don't think I'm playing Bobby Miller. I guess I'm okay. I don't want to play Bobby Miller. He can't throw strikes. And what is his pitch count? Well, how many pitches will they let him throw? Maybe mid-80s or so, something like that. You mentioned Nola. Nola getting 23%. Again, probably the best historical pitcher on the slate, but certainly he feels like he's in the back 9, maybe he's on hole 17 or 16 at this point. It's the velocity's down. Like you said, he's what was the adjective he used? Not using guile, but he's got to be tricky. No, you used a certain adjective to describe his game. Crafty. Crafty's just like a way of saying
like
he's
the
old.
guy from Major League. Like
yeah, Vaseline. Yeah. He needs every trick in the book to skate by.
What was his name? What was that guy's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I only remember Willie Mays Hayes and Joe Boo.
We remember Pedro Serrano, of course.
Yeah. Joe Boo.
I don't know. If only we had a machine that we can type this into, we can get this information. You mentioned Beto getting 20%, Falk getting 20%. it's kind of pricey for Fought, but again, when you consider the matchup, you consider the ballpark, I'm probably going to play him. You mentioned Robbie Ray, and I know Cheese wrote about Robbie Ray. Cheese will be on later, give you his thoughts. The old Robbie Ray rule, when he's not popular, you can roster him. When he is, you're supposed to run away. 16%. I don't really want to pick on Philly, but, Ray throwing from the left-hand side. The two best hitters, of course, for Philly. I guess best is, two of the three. Turner going to throw in the bucket as well. Swinging from the left. Ray's interesting. It's just, God, he just walks so many people. And it just, his starts can turn. Speaking of watching games, I was watching a couple starts back where I think he had a perfect game or a no-hitter in the 5th inning or so, and then he just let 5 guys on in a row. And I think it was walks, and it just blows up. I don't know. You never really know at Robbie Ray. I like what he's protected in San Fran. He's not today necessarily. Philadelphia, tough lineup. He's in the bucket just because, again, if you're going to argue who has the best chance to put up like an elite number, I think he's got a good shot, or at least a shot. Some of these guys don't have a chance. Max Meyer's been pretty good with the Marlins. I kind of believe in the talent. Once upon a time, he was an uber prospect. Michael's asking in chat for FanDuel, Nola or Fought. You have a thought amongst those two? I think it sounds like you like Nola a little bit more.
Sounds like you can play them both, but
well, FanDuel you can't.
Yeah, no, I know. So what's the price here? Nola is 8,800. Fought is 8,600.
Coin toss price wise.
Yeah, it's a coin flip. I like them both. I think you get a higher floor with Nola. I think you get more upside for this matchup with Miami. Take your pick. They're both. I would play both of them, and I'd be lying to you if I'd say like I really believed in one over the other. They're both. I believe in both of them tonight.
Yeah, I saw Dave in the article say I didn't do written content today, but I would have basically said like officially I don't really like anybody. There's no perfect spot. That's kind of where I'm at as well. Clark Schmidt is coming back. We're not expecting a ton of pitches. I got 75 on him as a median projection. I've seen several people talk about Parker for Washington.
Well, it's a good matchup with Pitt, for sure. He did have a decent outing in his last one, but if you dig it out, I mean, he's got like a 13% K rate right now.
This season's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. In swing and strike rate under 10, a walk rate over 10. I mean, there's like a 5.15 Sierra. Like let's see hard contact. Well, he gets a lot of ground balls. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Good matchup, but it's risky. I've thought about it, but like there's pitchers that are kind of the same thing that I feel a little bit better about.
They're asking about Herman Marquez is super cheap, but I don't want to do that. It's a no for me, and he just might be over. He might be done. I'm not sure. I don't want to call it just yet. He had a good run considering he was pitching in Colorado, but
5,500 back in the day, I would have gone all in on this play right now. Yeah,
but I don't think he's the same guy. And this year so far in a small sample, 13% Ks, 8% versus lefties, a 279 ISO. Especially the lefties. And he's not the guy he once was. Ohtani will be talking about, Freeman, Conforto, Muncy. Anything else you want to say as far as pitchers? We have a bunch of stacks to talk about. We'll be throwing them in the tiers shortly.
You don't want to play Marquez tonight.
No, I don't think so. Again, can he survive? Sure, I suppose, but I'm not taking that chance. Doesn't sound like you are taking that chance either.
No, he used to have like a 6 slider, I remember, and a nasty curve, and like those pitches they're not there anymore.
Says Dean's not the man he used to be. Yeah, I am very much like Herman Marquez. I'm not at my peak powers either. I'm on the back.
Question for you. I want to drill this. So I think you should grow the hair out. I just wanted to say that.
You don't like the new haircut?
Oh, I can't. It looks like it was the same. Hold on, I gotta zoom.
Oh no, it was a mess yesterday. I finally got rid of it.
Where'd you go to get that?
Local barbershop. Yeah, I didn't go to Supercuts. If that's your getting at.
Yeah, well, that's where I
know. That's your thing. Yeah, that's your gimmick.
It's not a gimmick. Unfortunately, it's the truth. I've given up.
Yeah, it's convenient for you, right? Is it like next to something?
Convenient. It's like everything, but it's like 3-minute drive down the road.
Yeah.
I can grab Chipotle, like every other strip mall in the country that has a Supercuts in it. And then,
Is that your? They come. They did some research, and there's a
Panera, grocery store. It's suburban life.
Yeah. Is that your go-to Chipotle?
No, I'm psyched because my favorite burrito place in Boston is actually opening up one right down the street here. So I'm like psyched. I need it to come because Chipotle is completely mid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generally speaking, the local place is probably better than the chain as a general rule. Yeah. There are exceptions, I suppose.
Of course.
You want to give a summary? Somebody just joined the show. We've been on for a half hour. They want to know.
I don't think we said anything to summarize.
Give me the 30-second, this is how you handle pitchers today.
All right. For me, I like Aaron Nola. I know people think he's washed. I don't think so. I think he's got probably the highest floor in the slate. I like him. I also like Chris Bubik. There's risk here. You're playing the Yankees, but the Yankees come with strikeouts, and I'm betting on that he mows down a bunch of Yankees in this game. And I like Fott because of the matchup for sure with Miami. I also like – I think you fade Bobby Miller at that price.
I think so too.
Against the Rockies. But, I mean, if you play – I wouldn't argue that strongly against them. I think you can play Robbie Ray chasing upside. I think you can play Nick Martinez. Gavin Williams is going to be low on because he looks a little overpriced. But Baltimore has been ice cold, and I believe in his talent. If his command is working, he could rack up a bunch of Ks. And I guess the riskiest of all for larger field stuff would be Max Meyer for the
I don't hate Meyer either. He's in the mix for me. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't have a lot of
guys getting ownership that I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play Zach Little at all against the Red Sox in this spot. I think this game
Bregman.
I think this game, yeah, and the Sox were ice cold until yesterday, but I still don't. I don't like this park, and I don't like him. The stuff he. I think this game kind of Newcomb is horrible too on the other side of it. So yeah, maybe he gets a win, but I think
maybe that's the over 9.
We'll talk about I do like that, and I like both sides for offense in that game. But Bido would be the guy that he's right. I like him too as well against the White Sox. As long as he throws strikes, he should have a good outing here.
Yeah, I mean the White Sox lineup today, 22 point. Well, okay, so this is thrown off a little bit because Chase Meredith is in there. He's got a 0% K rate in 5 at-bats. That's obviously not correct. Palacios is in there. He's more of a contact guy. But up top, especially the first 3 guys, which you love to see because you probably get those guys 3 times if you're pitching fairly well. Vargas, Matone, and Luis Robert, 28%, 31%, 33% as far as Ks. That's certainly appealing.
I keep waiting for Robert to hit.
Yeah.
The thing I love about he just starts hitting some homers. He can. He's good. He's a great prospect. He steals bags, which is so nice. He's not scared to run on the base paths at all.
Is it the stench of Chicago that's bringing him down?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure he needs to change the scenery somewhere. But
the assumption was he was going to get traded. It just never happened.
Yeah, and there's all that stuff, hanging over you.
Yankees trade. The lineup is out. Rice is not in there, not leading off, not playing at all.
Wait, Dean, you binked last night?
No, not me.
Oh, okay.
No, I barely. I got a little bit back, but I lost 80% or something like that. It wasn't good. Goldie, Bellinger, Judge, Jazz, Volpe, Wells, Grisham, Dominguez, and Peraza batting ninth. But yet, your boy did not. The best thing about DFS, you get back at it today. We're all at 0. I was thinking of today's category today for tiers, and I heard, the ice cream truck. You're aware of the ice cream truck, right? You know the music. You hear the music, and there can only be one thing. And then I'm curious. The chat let me know. You let me know, Kirkwood. We're gonna throw this up on the board here in a second. Give me the best and worst items that you get from the ice cream truck. What's the best? What is the number? What's the 1-1? And what's the worst? What's the biggest dud at the the ice cream truck. What do you got for me?
So, what I got, if they have quality slushes, I would say I love a slush.
Oh,
but we're gonna pretend that they don't have.
I think
that.
it's a different truck.
Some have them, some don't.
Okay.
I think the safest answer is probably if they have a good soft serve, you get them to do a cone for you, because a lot of places they do all of the whatever the bomb. I love a bomb pop, so I'm gonna go bomb pop number one for me.
What a bomb pop is. But go ahead.
You know, that's what I would
it's the rocket. Yeah, it's like the red, white, and blue. Okay,
with the gumball on the top or whatever.
I think it's got different names in different places.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm not like an ice cream sandwich guy or anything. Like what other things? They have everything.
There's a lot of
snow cones. I like the snow cone stuff, like that kind of stuff.
All right. Casey,
hey, Bobby likes a snow cone too. See, we're
he mentioned the wrestling bar. I thought people were like, probably I'm too old to reference that, but yeah, there used to be these old wrestling bars that were amazing. I don't know if they still exist. I don't think they still exist, but those were spectacular back in the day.
Wrestling bar. So Bobby,
well, they would like it would be like Macho Man.
It'd be like other men.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it looked like. It tasted spectacular. But I think those are defunct. I'm fairly certain.
Screwball is a good one too. Sorry, I can't think of one.
The problem with a screwball is it's got that gum at the bottom, and the gum is terrible. And it's a false. It's misleading.
What do you get, a nutty? You don't get a nutty buddy. Like that's just horrible.
Well, we shall reveal my board. Let's go ahead and drop the board. And Casey said the number one, the Chipwich. Chipwich is number one.
Good call.
Remember the Chipwich? Spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
Number two might also be defunct. Do they still remember it was a whole thing? Is the Choco Taco still in existence? Did it make a comeback?
Another good call. They're there. They're still out there.
They still okay. I know they threatened to go away, but that's what we have at number two. We get the Choco Taco. 3 is the Nutty Buddy, and I'll tell you the best argument for the Nutty Buddy. The middle's kind of like whatever. It's kind of mid, and you said it's kind of mid, but the top's pretty good. And
wow, this is. I can't look at this and see Bobby and my go-to at the bottom here.
Klondike's. I don't know. I wouldn't do a lot for a Klondike. It's not great. Something's weird about the ice cream from Klondike. It's messy.
It's not like cream. It's not like ice cream. It's like fake ice cream.
It's a different kind of ice cream. It's just not very good.
And the only thing they do is they have the good partnership deals with like Oreo and Heath.
Reese's,
and all that.
Again, it's misleading though. You're still stuck with their ice cream. And snow cones in the gutter. Snow cone looks cool. It looks fun. But you're just eating ice cream.
Investment. It takes a while for it to melt in those solid chunk ones that they
the
get.
Distribution doesn't work.
You get a real one where like a snow cone machine, like it's electric.
Jibahoma snow cone. I feel like that's one of those things you buy, you make it once, and you never make it again.
They used to have the Snoopy. Snoopy used to have like a
Can I partake in the snow cone conversation?
Jump in here, TJ.
One
Saskatoon.
Similar thing, but I'll say shave ice is 100 times better than snow cone.
Shaved ice is amazing.
It's so good, but
Tiger blood.
Snow cone is fine. You'll always take a snow cone, and you'll enjoy it, unless there's other options. That's the hot day, and somebody offers me a snow cone, I'm in.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's like it's a hot day. Only where the snow cone comes in, it's like a hot day. You don't want ice cream.
Don't want to fill up that stomach.
Yeah, you just
Look
want
at all the
something
qualifiers you need.
Needed something light. I hear that.
Italian ice. Italian ice is in there.
Oh,
too.
Italian ice is definitely better than a snow cone. It's not even a conversation.
Yeah, especially if they have like good. Richie, people around here. Bobby likes his Richie's slush, right? Chime in, Bobby.
I see Stevie hanging out in chat as well. Says, I don't know how this is relevant. Says Dean doesn't go outside, which might be a fair point, but I don't know if it's relevant to the conversation. Just as an aside, I did go outside today, to be fair. All right, let's go ahead. Let's throw our stacks in the appropriate tier. First game we're going to talk about, again, 6:35 starts. Cleveland, Baltimore, Dean Kramer, and Gavin Williams. We did get Tyler O'Neill scratched, so that Baltimore lineup took a bit of a hit. As far as the favorite here, Baltimore is slight favorite, -130. Cleveland total just under 4. Baltimore just above 4. Temps around 50, in the high 50s, 60s. And we have a crosswind in Baltimore. How do we feel about the Guardians and the O's?
We fade the Orioles, and we put up the Guardians one more up in the like decent.
Well, you can't say fade. You got to pick a tier. You can't just say fade them. What does that mean?
I mean I'd throw them in the gutter, but I guess not because they're historic. They have the talent to be much better than the gutter here. They're just in a bad little funk right now. But I think where they are is fine. It's good.
All right. I noticed, by the way, producer Steve and TJ have two different boards because that's a different. I feel like Steve doesn't have Guardians for some reason. I feel like it's a different emblem, but maybe that's just me remembering his board.
Steve is one of those guys who won't stop saying Indians. He's got.
You mentioned
and he's got Redskins. He's got Redskins.
Right.
He's been doing the tomahawk chop for as long as I can remember.
Washington and Pittsburgh, 8.5 total. Mitchell Parker taking on Bailey Falter. Bad ballpark, obviously. It's going to be in the high 40s. Wind is blowing out for what it's worth, about 10 miles per hour to left center. No C.J. Abrams certainly weakens this Washington lineup. You are getting Alex Call leading up for the Nats. Big bat of James Wood taking on Falter left on left. And O'Neill Cruz left on left historically much, not the hitter he is versus righties, obviously. I don't like this game a heck of a lot. You changed my mind. How do you feel about Washington and Pittsburgh?
I would love to stack against Falter, but they put out a lineup that makes it pretty hard to do that.
Yeah.
And I guess I would just take the first two batters and call it a night with Alex Call and James Wood. I don't really like any of the rest of that lineup. Ruiz maybe for catcher, but that's it. So right there. The Washington should be it. I think we put. Yeah, leave them both there for me.
For what it's worth, Falter is kind of reverse splitsy. Talking about the left on left versus James Wood. When that dude hits it, by the way, his power is immense. I think Washington's got somebody there. And I like their foundation, at least with Wood and Abrams. Cruz hasn't quite got there, but maybe, in theory, he's a big-time prospect. He's been rough so far this season out the gate, but he's still really, really young. Maybe Washington will get a nice little nucleus going forward. But you have Pittsburgh and Klondike Bar, and you have Washington and Klondike as well. So far, the offenses are not looking spectacular. Let's see if this changes things. Brandon Pfaadt taking on Max Meyer. Still no Ketel Marte for Arizona. Arizona, pretty heavy favorite here, minus 150. In Miami, 8.5 is a total. We talk about Pfaadt as a potential option. There is some, I guess, lefty power there. But, Mervis has shown a little bit. Stowers has shown a little bit. Conan as well when he's not striking out. But, yeah, how do we feel about the offenses here? I feel like this is more of a roster of the pitcher games, but you tell me.
This is the worst lineup in the history of RotoGrinders that I've ever seen.
No, come on.
This
no.
Marlins lineup. I've never seen a worse lineup than this.
You have.
Who?
The White Sox last year, this year, today.
This goes toe-to-toe with them.
You got to, knock the champ off, though. It's got to be definitive. I don't know if it's definitively worse.
I mean, Liam Hicks, Derek Hill, who can't make contact, Graham Pauley.
Yeah. It's a real person. I checked. I Googled. He exists.
Again, 2 first names. Terrible.
Yeah. Is that a deal breaker for you? 2 first names?
Yeah, of course.
What about Frank Thomas? You wouldn't roster him?
I had his rookie, his 90 Leafs or whatever, and then they all went worthless. Yeah. Now I just buy his what he's selling. Yeah.
The creepiest
for the lady.
It's the creepiest commercial. Oh my god. So we have Miami and Klondike. Did you put him there, or did TJ put him there? That's
Miami is in. I should not allow them to be next to my beloved snow cone, but that's where they're going. Yeah, I don't care about that. You could do it for leverage, is what the reason would be, because of Fox ownership. But
there's some power. There's a little bit of speed, obviously, there with Edwards. And they're kind of cheap. They are cheap. So if you want to make that argument, but it's a 10-game slate. The weather's good for Miami, right? Because it's neutral. As it heats up, and it becomes worse. But by comparison, that dome there is better than some other places. Okay.
I can't believe I would go under. I can't believe they have a 4-run team total.
You think that's too high?
Yeah.
All right. We got 20 minutes till crunch time comes in. Stevie's coming in here. Not Derek Carty. It's Kevin Roth. Chief Neurologist Kevin Roth's going to be on it. If anything changes, I'll go ahead and drop that link in chat again. Not sure if he's updated things, but last I saw, really nothing to be terribly alarmed about. And you get Dave Potts, 2-time millionaire winner. Cheese
and Stevie and Dave is a must-watch show.
What about with Roth? Roth too?
Roth doing his thing, absolutely. Yeah. It's a must-watch show.
Seattle taking on the Reds. Nick Martinez, Bryce Miller, good ballpark. Kind of a coin toss here. Both teams have a 4.25 total. Again, the weather is not spectacular. Wind is blowing out just a pinch, 3 miles per hour towards center field. It is a ballpark bump, massive ballpark bump for Seattle, right? Tough ballpark they play in. So J-Rod, and also locked in for 9 no matter what. Big dumper Kyle Raleigh looks pretty interesting. That lineup, like a lot of lineups, just really falls off pretty hard in the back end. Although Dylan Moore, shout out to him, he banged out a couple homers yesterday, I believe. Where do you have the Mariners and the Reds? Austin Hayes is a cleanup hitter.
I kind of think Nick Martinez is a decent pitcher, but he's certainly been struggling here. And so, I mean, this is like you play Seattle on the road. This is a good ballpark. You get the easy way to get your catcher in there because the big dumper.
Sure.
So I'm probably higher than most on this. I like both sides of the game, but give me put them both up there for me.
Up where? You got to tell
TJ. TJ knows. I'm watching TJ's board, and he's like he hears me say like a little bit, and he like
Choco Taco.
Yeah. Steve can't. Steve whiffs every time.
Well, he does his best. He sometimes
TJ's nailing it.
Giants, Phillies, Robbie Ray. What do you got, TJ?
Steve's a better producer than me in every way except for picking baseball tiers. That's 100% true.
Robbie Ray, Aaron Nola, 8 total. Kind of a crosswind here. 20 mile per hour crosswind I'm seeing here in Philadelphia. Not a big number. It's 8. Two pitchers historically have big ceilings. We talk about Robbie Ray, how the big variance for him. Sometimes he has an inability to throw strikes. He'll give up fly balls to turn into homers a few too many times as well. But, you like the Phillies. You like Aaron Nola, so I assume you're probably not going to be loading up on the Giants today. I don't want to lead the witness, but tell me where you're going with the Phillies and the Giants. Where are they going on the board? And, let's see. Steve's already not Steve. TJ's already thrown him in snow cone. Both teams in snow cone. I mean, look, this isn't my game. I'm just hosting it. I feel like you're supposed to have Phillies at least.
I put Phillies up to middle all the way.
Yeah.
And San Fran I'll put in the bottom. Though they're not a bottom type of team, but so put the Phillies in the Nutty Buddy. And I'm kind of torn either one, but I guess today, I mean, I have no interest in playing them. So I'm siding with Aaron Nola, but I could see it. And then, I could see Nola getting hit hard. Plus, they have some good lefty power, and like you said, it's a ballpark bump. It's good for left-handed hitters.
I want to see what Weather Edge has to say about this one. Let's see. Let me give it a refresh. Looks a little bit different. Where are we at Weather Edge wise? Okay, so 4-game sample. It's this weird sample of like cold temperatures and a lot of wind. So only 4 games, 52 degrees. 20 mile per hour wind, again, toward right center. We've seen a dip in homers, but I'm not freaking out over 4-game samples. Joe in chat is asking me, by the way, why am I clicking off the ad? We just introduced TJ's producing. Apparently, he's having an issue with. They really want us to go shopping at Home Depot.
It doesn't. It's unXable. I've tried so many times, and all it does is just.
I see that little X.
There's like I'll click it though, and then all it does is open up new tabs for me every time I click it.
TJ, this is how cookies work. Have you been shopping at Home Depot recently?
I hate.
This is like stream.
I hate Home Depot too. I hate all of them.
I hate it with a passion. I can't stand Home Depot.
Do you guys illegally stream ever?
No. No. Pay the $8, Kirkwood, whatever it is. I mean, just get Hulu. It's fine. I mean, you're your kid Yahoo. You don't need to illegally stream.
Listen, someone says, imagine no ad blocker in 2025. I have ad blocker. It's just like a literal built-in part of this website that can't get rid of in the free version.
I think it's just I'm not very masculine or handy, so I feel emasculated when I'm in Home Depot or Builder Square. I just despise those kind of stores. They are not for me. And the smell, there's like no air conditioning almost always.
We need? We need a Naked HD ad up there. They're missing out. They needed TJ the whole time. That's all they needed.
Okay. Boston, Tampa, one of the better hitting environments on the slates. Almost 80 degrees here in Tampa. We know about this ballpark here. Obviously, it mimics Yankee Stadium, Steinbrenner Field, Zach Littell, Sean Newcomb. No Bregman for Boston today, unavailable. He's having a child. A lefty for Boston, so that means just be on pinch hit alert for this Tampa Bay team. Brandon Lau is coming off the bench. The first baseman, the lefty first baseman, will probably come off the bench. Mead, very much a threat to get the hook. Montez as well. Just be aware. These things can happen. It's just hard to stack Tampa for that reason. I'm not saying you can't. And they're up 10-0. They just stick around and play the 8 innings. But just throwing that out there. Boston, Tampa, what do you got?
When Newcomb's on the hill, base runners will be on the base paths. People will be getting walked. He will be giving them hits. I think he's terrible. I love both sides of this for stacking, and so I put them both in Choco Taco. Because they're a little bit below the Angels for me, but both of them. The Rays actually I would probably put a little bit lower, only because the pinch hit risk. So it's like the other night when the Rays nuked, my first instinct when on my first build, I was trying to build a Rays stack.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got so fed up with the pinch hit risk here and there, and I just said, all right, screw it. I'm going to the next team I went to, and I really regretted it. So I hate that about them, but because you don't know how long Newcomb's, they'll definitely bring a righty in.
Mm-hmm.
But I always for the Boston side, giddy up. I like all these lefties. Abreu, I love batting cleanup for 4.7K. I think Devers is okay. Duran came out of his shell the other night, and
he's been hitting the ball well. It's just he hasn't been very lucky, but yeah, I think he's fine. He's got a speed power combination.
Casas, we'll see if he is ever going to live up to.
Yeah, he crushes batting practice. I don't know if you know that.
Well, the thing I was asking, Dean, is that I call BS from. I want to know where you got that from, because I don't think you're watching much Red Sox batting practice.
Well, it's like you referenced Major League. Remember, Pedro Serrano was also spectacular in batting practice as well, but he can hit the fastball. But when they give him changeup, all of a sudden things change. And then when Casas, you change speeds on him, he's lost.
The curve killed my high school baseball career too. I couldn't. I was like I always thought I was getting hit by it. It was bad.
Yeah, trouble with you and Justin Timberlake. Trouble with it. All right, so Bubic is taking on Clark Schmidt, the Royals and the Yankees.
Hold on. Did I get those right? I missed where you guys put them. I was busy talking about Home Depot in chat.
Red Sox up 1.
You mean our sponsor, Home Depot?
You can leave the Rays there.
Yankees, Royals, Bubic, Clark Schmidt.
You know what it is? You know what I'm calling? I'm calling BS on TJ. I'm thinking that he's got these set up for him, and he's making ad revenue off of this somehow.
All those loonies and toonies later. Where do we have the Royals and the Yankees?
Where do you think all the money to bet Spidey bombs comes from? It's directly from the ad.
I mean, you gotta. You're creative,
It actually direct deposits straight into the betting account.
Sweet. All right, what's the next name?
Royals,
Bubik.
Yankees?
I'm team Bubik. So, like, obviously, we should have the Yankees up high because there's complete power lineup that can always go off.
Sure.
I don't think tonight they're going off. I think Bubik is going to mow them down. He's going to rack up Ks. I think Bellinger stinks. He's gonna strike. Aaron Judge is going to have a golden sombrero tonight.
Whoa! What,
that would have been
4? That's 4Ks or 5Ks? It's 4.
I don't know. No, there's something. 5 is something different. It might be 3Ks.
I think it's 4 is the golden sombrero. Okay. I don't know what 5 is. That's what Churio had opening day. He had 5 strikeouts.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what 5 is, but I'm pretty sure 4 is gold.
Yep. See, Bobby knows. All he has to pitch around is Grisham. Yeah, Bobby gets it.
Yes, the most daunting hitter in the lineup, batting 8th or 7th or whatever he's at.
But I don't want anything. I'm sick of these Royals. They just don't hit when they're not at home.
Yeah, it's Bobby Witt and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, and I mean Melendez for cheap, trying to hit another homer like yesterday. Sure.
What's the Italian food tie-in for Wednesdays or Vinny P?
It's Prince Spaghetti Day, but you guys don't like that so much.
I don't. So. It's not a W. It doesn't fit.
Well, that's what it's always was.
Like Tortellini Tuesday.
TV always would be here in Boston. It would always say Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day. So that's what it is. It doesn't have to rhyme with in this instance. With,
I like a rhyming scheme. Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, it's believe me, it's gotten his numbers are much better on Tortellini Tuesdays, on Meatball Mondays. You know.
By the way, think of
Fettuccine Fridays. Fettuccine, that's a big one.
Derek's saying Wagyu Wednesday, but Wagyu's not that's steak, right?
Yeah,
Wagyu?
He takes a night off. He takes a night off and he enjoys a nice.
Well, then you don't roster Vinny P on Wagyu Wednesday. I don't think. You do roster Athletics. You should at least the first 5. Butler, Rooker, Soderstrom, the current leader in homers in Major League Baseball. I think it's 7 or 8, give or take. Langoliers, Bodega kind of falls off after that, taking on Jonathan Cannon and the nonsense that the White Sox are rolling out there. Athletics are favored here. Again, it's just a tough environment. We're talking 40 degrees, wind blowing in. It's a 7.5 total. You know.
So this is much different than yesterday's weather?
Yeah. You're asking me if it is?
Yeah, I'm saying yesterday's weather. What was yesterday's? I don't
think it was this alarming yesterday.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just tougher to hit homers. We have a 36-game sample. Roth has on Weather Edge a hit in homers at 23%, negative 23%. Although a 3% bump in runs, which is kind of interesting, but the sample is not monstrous at 36 games. But yeah, I mean you can play these guys, but I just wish the weather was a little bit more appealing.
Cannon has a over 13% walk rate so far.
That's bad.
Yeah, well, it's Robbie Ray is 16% right now.
Yeah, that's also bad. Yeah. Where do we have the Athletics and the White Sox?
I mean, anybody against the Sox, and the A's have a bunch of power. I mean, they've been proving it. Soderstrom is ridiculous.
Is he for real?
Well, he is right now, so we'll see what happens. He's, people take big leaps with certain programs they get on, certain things like that, like a lot of nutrition, a lot of stuff like that.
So Frank Thomas eugenics. I'm sure that's what you're referencing.
Could be. But anyway, you gotta like Butler, you gotta like Rooker, Soderstrom. I'll say Langelier for Kevin Roth and Dave Potts. I don't know.
They're coming on in just a few minutes, just to run out there. We got to knock out these last 2 games. It's the Angels and the Rangers. The Angels have the second highest team total on the board. Doesn't happen very often, but how do you get there? The roof is closed in Texas, but it's Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin with the assist. A lot of righty power there as well. Taylor Ward, of course, Mike Trout, Soler. Paris has been awesome. Adele, when he hits the ball, it goes far. He's another guy that smashes, that crushes BP. The breaker can kind of throw him off sometimes. Where do we have are we buying it? How do we feel about Angels chalk? Angels chalk. Do we like it?
It's delicious chalk tonight. It's Patrick Corbin, and Mike Trout is hitting.
He's good,
which is nice. He's healthy. which is nice, healthy and hitting. So maybe we can get something out of Soler in this one, and Darno, who those good long-term history, terrible this season so far. But yeah, I like 1 through 5 a lot, and obviously, we got to go to Paris for a little bit here at second base. For
you buying Paris, or is he fluky, or what?
Yeah, we'll see. You got to keep riding it.
Combination so far
for right now. Let's go.
It's funny how plate IQ can be misleading sometimes with small samples, but the smallest Mike Trout's got a 24 at bat sample versus lefties dating back to last season. He's at the lowest ISO amongst all the Angels at 53. But don't let that scare you. It's don't look at that and be like, oh, you can't play Trout. Soler, of course, monster number. Darno in a small sample, 80 at bats at 333 ISO. That's pretty impressive as well. Kevin Newman, not much punch. Adele, 308. And the strikeouts aren't even terrible, 22%. I thought they were going to be higher than that. I like the Angels too, which is, I feel weird saying. Oh, is Marcus Semien toast? Is he over? Is it done?
I mean, I thought he was done a few years ago, and he made some restricting. Yeah, I mean, you're always looking for it, but
Rockies and Dodgers 2 hours after everything else, right? It's kind of like a doubleheader as far as this slate. That's our last game. No Dodgers just yet. No Rockies just yet. Not sure about Teoscar Hernandez. I know he's been ill. He had the fish that has not played the last several games. We're projecting him in currently. The Dodgers, the only team, well, I shouldn't say the only team, also the Angels. They have a team total above 5, the highest team total on the board, 5 and change, taking on German Marquez, whatever's left of them. Where do we have the Rockies and the Dodgers?
Yeah, so Marquez used to have a sick slider and a sick curveball, and he doesn't have them anymore. They're not good, and so he's going to his 4-seamer and his sinker, which he's getting hit, and he should get hit. So I think the Dodgers are going to hit, obviously, and plus you get the nice Rocky bullpen there, and you get the powerful lineup. All these guys, yes, they're costly, but you can find some value. There's some value around to make it work. So you got to put them in the top tier with the Angels, as TJ did, and then the Rockies are dog water in general.
But if Bobby Miller just walks everybody,
yeah,
he might. I'm not saying he will, but that's what he's shown so far in the minors in a small sample. But they have a good pen as well, and the Rockies are terrible. Let's say that twice. It's worth repeating.
I just don't see. I mean, maybe Miller gets frustrated and gets little, hit a little bit here in the beginning, but I just don't see them getting you there. I get the leverage and all that, but yeah, I'd stick them in the bottom.
All right, so think of a couple players that are going to hit a homer. In just a second, I'm gonna call on you. But before I do that, I'm going to prompt the chat to hit that like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications. And there's an incentive. We're incentivizing you to hit that like button because you're getting Spidey bombs every 50 likes. We already have 2 dropped by TJ/Spidey. TJ does it on his behalf, of course. He's his representative. JRAM, we got JRAM plus 575. It's a pretty good number. Taylor Ward probably gets 5 ABs. Probably 2, maybe 3 cracks at Patrick Corbin at 4-1 as well. Shop around, get the price, the best price in your area. If we get a few more likes, 150 to be precise, a third Spidey bombs on layaway, and I'm sure TJ and Spidey have a fourth if we happen to get to 200 likes in total. Also want to mention, by the way, all the bells, all the whistles, everything we're showing off here on the screen. Not everything, we can't show it all off. All the articles. Dave's coming on in here a second. You get Dave's article. You get Ross Weather Edge. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, everything. $4.25. Now you can get that for baseball, a la carte, but you get everything, all the sports. Why not get all the sports? You get the 6-month deal. You go instead of going month by month by month by month. You get a much cheaper package when you commit to 6 months. Baseball projections, basketball content. The playoffs are ramping up. Of course, golf's out there. Everything, with the exception of NASCAR. Links are in the description. Kirkwood, I gave you enough time. Who's going yard tonight?
Well, the obvious one is Mike Trout, but we'll pass over that. I'll actually say Soler hits a home run tonight, and I will also say the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, hits a home run tonight.
I like those two. You got a third for me by chance, or just two? Just two's fine. You got a third you're sitting on?
Nah, those are Abreu for the Red Sox.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring in crunch time in just a second. I want to see if we can get TJ to throw that board back up because we have an ice cream expert who I'm sure has some thoughts on today's tier category. Let's do it. Let's bring in Stevie. Let's bring in Roth. Let's bring in Dave Potts. Crunch time right now.
I should have monkey.
Dave, I'm not sure if you saw our board today. I was thinking like, what's today's tier? What am I going to make for today? I'm always kind of thinking about it. And one of those ice cream trucks, you hear the music, and I'm like, oh, ice cream. And I power ranked, the ice creams. And you're an ice cream specialist, an ice creamologist, if you will. What is the best item at your standard ice cream truck, and the worst? What's the worst possible item you can get at the ice cream truck?
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw your board for just a second, and at first glance, I thought, I think that was really solid. I really do. The first thing I'll say is, as a true ice cream person, the ice cream truck is the worst place to get ice cream. Yes. But it's a joyous thing to exist, and I'm glad it's I'm fully on board with whatever their version of the chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwich. Chipwich, which is that's what I would have put first too, because that's the safest go-to, and sometimes it's great. Kind of depends on the version you get, but it's never going to be bad. And some of the other things, sometimes they're bad. So I was pleased. I was very pleased with the board. Impressive, honestly.
I'm glad we're in alignment. I'm always happy when we're in alignment on baseball stuff because I know you know what you're talking about. And now I'm happy we're in alignment on ice cream stuff because I know you know what you're talking about. So, Roth, I don't know if you saw the board. It was Chipwich, Choco Taco, which may or may not still be in existence. I don't know.
Oh, that's still there. Yeah.
Can we go around and ask everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream real quick?
Is this like a Chipwich?
I'd like to know everyone's favorite.
Yeah. I had never heard Chipwich, but yes. And that's great. Those are always good. This is a good call. That should be tops.
I got these at Costco.
Wait, are there chocolate chips around the outside too, or just in the cookie?
Both.
Beautiful.
I think you're supposed to have chocolate chips.
Looks like there's chocolate chip ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cookie chunks in the ice cream.
Strawberry, Kirkwood. Strawberry.
Thank you.
It's just cookie biscuit, by the way. I thought biscuit was a British thing. Biscuit is a
French. That's the French. Biscuit.
Biscuit.
Chez Langelier eats before his games right there.
It says, sandwich biscuit au pépite de chocolat.
Look at TJ showing off his French. You taught French, right?
Yeah. I taught it for 5 years.
Did you get all that, Stevie?
Yep.
Dynamite
we all
drop.
know that I speak French and Spanish and Italian. And but
favorite flavor, Stevie?
Favorite ice cream flavor for me is everything but. It's Ben & Jerry's. It's so
That's
good.
not a flavor.
That is a flavor. What do you mean?
It is
it's
a
not
flavor.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh.
Once Ben and Jerry get something in the rotation, you can just simply call that a flavor. Even though technically it's a flavor with mix-ins, I think that counts, and I accept that answer.
You want to get yours out there, Kirkwood. What is yours?
I want to get Dave's now.
Yeah, that's such a that's not a simple question, because in what context do we mean this? You can just eat a flavor.
What's your go-to?
Your
go-to?
Well, my go-to is a Stevie version of it, a flavor. It's New York Super Fudge Chunk, Ben & Jerry's. But if I had to eat just one time, just one ice cream, just the flavor that comes, I would have butter pecan.
Ooh.
But I wouldn't say that's the best ice cream either. I would just say, if I just had to eat ice cream today with no topping, nothing, that's what I would have.
And Dean?
Yeah.
Cookies and cream?
That's mine too. I was coming in to say cookies and cream.
I like
That's
that, but mine is black raspberry with chocolate sprinkles.
That's contrarian. That's like rostering Herman Marquez.
But see, Kirk, as soon as you put chocolate sprinkles on there, you're doing the same thing Stevie
That's
did.
how
That's
I
not
feel.
a flavor. So Stevie is correct.
Dean, how can you say
Fair enough.
that's not a flavor, but an omelet with all the fixins is just an egg?
We're not talking about. We're done with omelets, DJ.
Oh man.
It's a callback to a previous show. All right, let's go ahead and step aside and make way for crunch time. You got Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. You got Stevie as well. You have Kevin Roth and his weather. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. By the way, it is Kevin Roth without his weather today because there's really no weather concerns, no rain issues, no delay, no postponements, nothing like that. I will note briefly, winds are blowing out pretty strong in New York, but also it's cold. It's like 48 degrees, kind of offsetting, but winds are blowing out, so we'll take it. I will take this. Two of the sharpest minds in the industry hanging out with me. We got Dave Potts. Cheeseisgood in the house. What up, Cheese?
Not too much. Weird early time slot for the main slate, but it's good. It just means earlier ice cream, earlier to bed, so it's all good.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. All this ice cream talk's got me fired up. Got some strawberry ice cream ready to go. We got Stevie in the house as well. Stevie, what's up, man?
What's up? I was like super excited when I saw this show on the schedule. I haven't got to do a show with Cheese in a while. Always like doing shows with Roth, so I was excited when I saw this show. Like I get put on with Dean every once in a while. I'm like, but Roth and Cheese. I mean, this is a show you should listen to.
He's got a point. But Dean takes more like not serious hate than anyone else in the business. Everybody just pokes fun. He just takes it. He doesn't even bother him. We love you, Dean. You're the man.
Dean is the man. Like I'd give him a hard time, but
yeah.
Me and Dean have been working together for 10 plus years, so he can take it.
He is excellent. Let's talk about the slate. I mentioned weather not really a concern, so I'm just sitting back. I'm listening to you guys. Stevie, why don't you lead us off? You can talk about the slate in general, or you can just dive into the pitcher side of things.
Yeah, I mean, this slate in general for me is I want to play a lot of bats and I want to play a lot of pitchers because I don't really love any of the pitchers. And I mean, I think a lot of the pitchers are boom or bust. So I want to play a lot of bats. So I'm doing something I don't typically do. I'm playing a lot more teams than I typically do. And my player pool is a lot larger than it normally is because I mean, there's just nothing that I absolutely like have to have today. I mean, our talent-wise, our top pitcher is probably Aaron Nola, but his velocity is way down, and he's getting hit hard to start the season. So can't even get super excited about playing like Aaron Nola. So I think overall, it's just one of those slates where wide range of what could like outcomes and like a really high like variance slate. Like so, not really locking into anything. That's kind of where I'm at today.
Okay, very good. Well, we will circle back, get your specific thoughts on pitcher in just a little bit, but let's kick it off with Cheese. Dive into it, Cheese. We need 2 on DK. We need 1 on FanDuel. How are you building?
Yeah, it's like what Stevie said. Like there's a lot of pitchers, but none of them are great. It's like sort of downhill from yesterday was similar to this, but today's even worse. I think Aaron Nola and Bryce Miller and or Bobby Miller are probably the closest thing to chalk. I think let's start at the bottom and say, I think the biggest decision point on the slate is Bobby Miller. I talked about this in the musings. Like Bobby Miller was good for a year and he was supposed to be good and he's still supposed to be good. The little bit we saw him last year and 3 starts in AAA, he has been like one of the worst pitchers I've ever seen ever. But we're talking for like a cut, like maybe 10 starts last year and 3 starts this year. We don't know. And he's cheap and he's facing the Rockies. And I get it. I will tell you, I have 0. Yeah. And I'm very happy with that. The dude has walked 21% of batters in 3 AAA starts. So if you're about to say, but the Rockies are a AAA lineup, he's been facing actual AAA lineups and failing miserably. I'm out. I wouldn't yell at you if you play him. I understand why you might play him. He's going to be back sometime. But I need to see it once. So I'm out. I'm also pretty much out on Aaron Nola and Bryce Miller. Aaron Nola might be the top scorer on this slate with 20 points. Bryce Miller might be second with 19 points. But they both have more downside than people realize. And neither of them really have likely upside. Like, they're just not great DFS pitchers. Nola used to be, he's just not anymore. And Bryce Miller hasn't taken that next step up, and he's in Cincinnati. So for me, if I'm spinning up, I'm playing Brandon Pfaadt. Just give me the guy who's in Miami. They're all about the same skill level. So just give me the guy who's in Miami. It's really that simple. And I think, if anything, Nola is probably the chalk. So give me the guy who's maybe a little lower owned, and I think he's just better in this matchup. Then we have Stevie mentioned some boomer bust. There is some massive boomer bust. We have Robbie Ray, obvious boomer bust. And I would put Chris Bubic, however you want to say that name, in this same category. I think Stevie feels the same. Like, I think we believe this guy is good. Like, it's very small sample. He was amazing as a reliever. So far as a starter, it's held up. Of course, the problem is he's facing the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, and he's kind of expensive. So I don't have much of him tonight, but I think he's in that same Robbie Ray territory of the upside is there. You could kind of say the same thing for Zach Little. He's less of an upside guy, but the matchup is kind of boom or bust. Personally, once I get down to that level, I'm going a little cheaper and playing more Osvaldo Bido or Nick Martinez. These are not great pitchers, but they're fine-ish and they're cheaper. And it's a slate because I don't like the expensive guys. I'm fine playing cheap stuff that's just, it's okay. So let me back up now and tell you my pool. Mm-hmm. So on DraftKings, if I have money, I'm playing Brandon Pfaadt. And then I'm playing a little bit like sprinkles of Robbie Ray and Chris Bubic. And then I'm going down to mostly Nick Martinez and Osvaldo Bido. I've got a little Zach Little in there as well. You're welcome to throw like Dean Kramer in there if you want. You're welcome to throw Clark Schmidt in there if you want and hope he gets stretched out. Like, there's a lot of things you could do, but that's my pool. And on FanDuel, fortunately, we really don't need the salary for Bobby Miller. He's even more tempting there because he's 6,300, and again, he's facing the Rockies, and he was good one time. Not one time, like one day, for like a year. But like, you really don't need a $6,300 pitcher. So I'm still mostly playing Pfaadt on FanDuel. And the same group of secondary guys. I don't think I have anything below 8K. I might have a Zach Little lineup, but essentially, no, I do have like one or two Nick Martinez, just if I want to play all the bats. That's the guy I would play instead of Miller, but that's really not a necessity. So most of my lineups are not anything below 8K, and mostly just Pfaadt, honestly.
Okay, to get one more name that I've seen brought up a couple times that you didn't mention, and that's Mitch Parker. A few people said, what about my boy Mitch? Any interest, or is it one of those like, you get it, but no?
Yeah, no, I do get it. Like, he's right there with like the Zach Little play. Like, he's totally fine. It's a pretty good matchup. I won't be at all surprised if we get another quality start out of him. I would need him to be cheaper for me to get there, but I would not try to talk you out of him.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Let's kick it to Stevie. I feel like that was a pretty damn good pitcher breakdown, Stevie, but maybe you have different thoughts on some of these guys. So walk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, my highest owned guy is Bubic. I think that on a slate where we don't have a ton of ceiling, he has a massive ceiling today. You know, you look at the Yankees lineup, it's not the best lineup in the world today. And Bubic, I think he's good. I do. I think it's going to be something that we talk a lot about this year, but I mean, his changeup is generating 35+% whiffs. And I mean, that is massive when you're, getting that type of movement, especially against righties. He has this like sweeper, slider, sinker combo that he uses against righties, and the Yankees bats really struggle against changeups. So I don't think this is the best lineup in the world today. I think that they're missing a couple key pieces, and I think Bubic could pitch really well here. So he's my highest owned guy. I think he has the highest ceiling. The bottom half of this lineup with all the lefties in there, just a huge bump to him in general. And yeah, I mean, he's my guy that I'm playing a lot of. I don't know what to do with Bobby Miller. I'm playing a little bit of him, more just because, like, as many lineups as I'm playing, I didn't really want to change too much projections wise. And Miller's projecting okay, but I am mixing around that range, getting some Parker, who we just kind of talked a little bit about. The bottom half of the Pittsburgh lineup's not great. Playing a little bit of Nick Martinez, Bido, Littell. I even like mixed in a little bit of like Gavin Williams against Baltimore because no one's going to play him today, and I think that he's okay. But overall, like, Nola's the guy that I really want to take a stand on. I want to be underweight on him. Bobby Miller, Cheese was talking about like his drastic like drop off. I mean, almost 2 miles an hour down from where he was at in 2023 till last year and this year. So I think the thing for me that worries me the most with Miller is like, you're going from throwing 99 to 97 and your secondary pitches are not great. He just threw the ball by people. So the Rockies stink. The lineup's awful. I'm just kind of hoping Bobby Miller can go out and get me like 15 points, and I think that's doable. I like Fott. I like Soriano. I like Ray. I mean, like I said, my pitching pool is way bigger than it typically is, but the guy that I'm taking like a huge stand on today is Chris Bubich.
Okay. So, Cheese, your boy PFAT is probably the one you are most overweight on against the field, and Stevie, for you, it's Bubich, right?
Yeah. Which is funny because those are the two tags that I had in expert plays today.
There you go. Great.
All I did was click on Stevie's tags and play those guys.
Yeah, there we go.
That's all you need to do sometimes. Did get one more question. Judy says, "Are you okay with Bubich in FanDuel single entry as well, Stevie?"
I am. I mean, again, I think he's good. I think that we saw him really kind of take the next step like last season out of the bullpen, and the fact that they stretched him out and he's just not slowing down. I mean, he's beating good teams. It's not like he's beating bad teams. I mean, he beat Baltimore. He beat up on Milwaukee. He pitched well against Cleveland. He just had a couple bad pitches. But I mean, I think he's good.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to say, I actually extra love him on FanDuel because he's the most expensive pitcher. So he's going to be unowned, and the salary doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So the salary is actually a good thing that he's maybe overpriced.
Okay, good note. And then one last name with pitcher before we move to the bats. It was from Chris. And was that a Soriano? Is that what I read there? Soriano on FanDuel, 9,800 with an Angel stack. Stevie?
Yeah, so the thing about Soriano, I love pitchers that are going to be pitching with a lead. We all kind of expect the Angels to score some runs today. And you could kind of pitch a little bit more aggressive when you have a lead. So bottom half of this lineup, Berger, Heim. We don't know really what to expect out of Dustin Harris, but the top half of the lineup is really good. So I think Soriano is kind of pitching around the top half lefties, but he's good against righties. So I think he's like another one of these guys where, I mean, the range of outcomes is like -5 to 25.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's switch it over. Let's talk about the bats and the stacks. Stevie, I think you mentioned even with hitters, you're a little bit kind of like shotgun spread around here. What do you like?
Yeah, I have a lot of the Dodgers. I have a lot of the Angels, and I have a lot of the Athletics. Outside of that, I've kind of mixed and matched like secondary stacks. I mean, like everyone, I'm not going crazy today. Like Patrick Corbin stinks. I'm going to play the Angels. They're a lineup full of right-handed bats against Patrick Corbin. It's not like Washington has a great bullpen or Texas has a great bullpen behind Patrick Corbin. So I like the Angels a lot, like the Dodgers a lot. Herman Marquez throws flat fastballs. It's the Dodgers. It's a great spot. We are not paying up for pitching today, so it's really easy to fit in the Dodgers. And I'm just going to keep playing the Athletics. I know the total in this game is really low. Jonathan Cannon seems to be a guy that's going to struggle with left-handed power. Butler, Soderstrom, Blade. We know Bangaliers. I know you guys like the French version, but Bangaliers has power. Rooker has power. So, I mean, I just keep playing the Athletics. So those are like the main three teams that I'm targeting on this slate.
Okay. Cheese, I'll kick it to you. Your favorite stacks.
Yeah, exactly those three. Let me just reiterate what I said for the cliff notes of the musings. I think I still feel the same way about this slate. I see three ways you play this slate. One is those three teams Stevie just mentioned. You just play Dodgers, Angels, A's, and you're done. And you're going to get over the field on those three, even if they're chalk. I think it's not even close that those three are just miles ahead of everyone else. Option two would be you pick whatever random other team you like or two and load up on them and know you're probably going to lose, but if you hit it right, you're going to win everything. Or option three is you just spread out all over the place and play a little bit of everybody. Like, because I think it's just such a clear top three with those. You kind of have to decide, I'm going to get over on those three or I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
And I'm still on board with being over on those three.
Okay. Any other teams you want to give a little nod to or no?
I'll give you my number 4, and we'll talk about it again later, the Colorado Rockies.
Okay. Very good. Let's go around the horn, position by position. We start at the old catcher spot. Cheese, you get to lead us off, my man.
Yeah, catcher's good. It's always good. Cal Raleigh, I don't even think he's chalk because I think there's enough good catchers to get spread out. I think he's the best play. Stevie already mentioned. I've decided this morning I'm gonna go back to calling him Shea Langoliers, and there you go. Will Smith, if he's in the lineup, great. Darno is in the lineup. Ohapi's still a little hurt, so Darno gives us a cheaper catcher playing for one of the three teams we like. So I love him. I don't mind Danny Jansen as a cheaper pivot. I don't mind Bo Naylor as a full punt if you need him. But really, Raleigh is my main go-to guy.
Okay, Stevie, your thoughts, catcher?
Yeah, Travis d'Arnaud. I was watching the show before this, and there was a lot of people talking about Travis d'Arnaud and how he struggled in chat. This guy mashes left-handed pitching. I know he might be off to a slow start, but his ISO since the beginning of the last season is like 330 something. He's really good against left-handed pitching. We saw him a lot with the Braves. So him being so cheap in the heart of that Angels stack that we love, he's my highest owned catcher. I'm playing a lot of Cal Riley. I think Nick Martinez is a guy you want to target. Huge ballpark upgrade for Seattle, going from Seattle to one of the best hitting ballparks in baseball. So those are my main two. I'll have some Will Smith. I'll have some Bangaliers. I will say that no one's playing Adley Rutschman today, and he's a guy that can hit multiple home runs in any game. So if you're not playing those chalkier stacks that we've talked about, I mean, Cheese basically just said if you're going to try to be different, Baltimore's not the craziest team to be different with. They're a team that can score runs in bunches. So Rutschman is another guy that I have in my player pool a little bit today.
Okay, take me to first, Stevie.
It's my guy, man. Soderstrom. He keeps raking, and people don't want to play him because he keeps going up in price, and he just keeps hitting home runs at low ownership. So he's the guy that I'm going to play a lot of. Obviously, Ohtani, you can play him at first base or outfield. You can play Freeman at first base if you don't play Ohtani at first base in that Dodgers stack. Outside of that, I mean, it's basically who you're stacking at first base. I will say that I probably have a little bit more Cleveland than most today, so I'm playing a little bit of Manzardo at first. I think Kramer's hittable, so I don't mind that, but I love my guy Soderstrom. I'm going to keep playing him a lot, keep playing the Athletics. I like them more at home, but I don't think this is a bad spot for them at all here against Cannon.
Yeah. Cheese, your thoughts at first?
Also like Soderstrom. I'll mention you can play Cal Raleigh on FanDuel as well. Don't shy away from playing a catcher there. On DraftKings, if you have money, Ohtani's top play on the slate. And I do have him quite a few places, some at first, some in the outfield. More at first. I think first is kind of weak. Like Soderstrom's the only guy in the mid-tier that I especially love. So then if I can't get up to Ohtani, I mean, Freeman's fine, but pretty much just in the stack for me. Then I am going cheaper. Like I've got a little Ryan O'Hearn. I've got Michael Toglia. I don't mind a Matt Mervis one-off. I don't mind a Jake Berger. It's really one of the weaker first base slates we've seen in a while, which is why I am playing a lot of Ohtani, even though he's expensive.
Yeah. Okay. How about second?
It's very useful on FanDuel to have Mookie Betts at second, and we have another cheap guy with Christopher Morel that you can play. Like, so Luis Rengifo is probably the best play, like for the money, but he's not even one of the 5 Angels you want in. So it's kind of a weird spot with him. And Kyron Paris, like you've got these 2 Angels that maybe aren't among the top 5 Angels bats. Like it's a hard team to stack, and you can't even use all the guys you want to use from that team. I would probably just play 8 of them if I could. And the spend ups are just, I mean, Matt McClain and Jazz Chisholm against good pitchers with both of them have the splits against them. I don't love it to spend up that much money, which kind of makes Edman my favorite spend up. I've got some like Gavin Lux in the cheaper tier, and then I've got some just full punts and hope I get a point with stuff like Schneemann and Amador and Coco Montez, and like I just don't care who I have. Let me spend my money somewhere else.
Yeah. All right, Stevie, ugly position. What do you where are you falling, I guess?
I think Cheese nailed it. I mean, if Tommy Edmonds in the lineup for the Dodgers against Marquez, I like that. I like Matt McClain. It's just like, how much are you going to pay 58 or 5,300 for him? But I do like him. I like the Reds. I think they're a little underrated today. Miller has really struggled with command. They have a lot of speed power combo and a great ballpark. So I don't mind the Reds. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's basically who's ever going to fit in my lineup. So I'm not really second base, a position where my highest owned guy is like 17%, and that's Rengifo. So, I mean, it's an ugly, ugly position today. And it feels like it is almost every day.
Every day. Yeah, agreed. All right. How about third then?
Yeah, third base I like. I think there's a lot of options here. You know, we haven't talked too much about Cleveland, but I did say I like them. Jose Ramirez. I like Devers against Little. Muncy, I think, is in a really good spot. Obviously, with the Dodgers, you know, we keep talking about them. So I like, you know, Muncy. Rengifo is another guy, like, you could play at third base, but I definitely prefer playing him at second base. Chat's saying the Dodgers lineup has come out, and it does look like Muncy's in there, so that's good. It looks like Hernandez is back in the lineup, and that's good. Edmund got a good lineup spot. So just to kind of touch on a few things that we talked about already. But I mean, that's really it outside of, like, you know, some contrarian stacks. I mean, I'm going to be playing a lot of the third basemen. No Will Smith in the lineup, which hurts but doesn't like kill us here. There's a lot of catcher plays today.
Yeah. All right, Cheese, your thoughts at third?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Ramirez and Devers, very clearly the top two. I like Ramirez as a spend up. I've got a little bit of Matt Chapman. And then it's kind of just, and then after that, it kind of turns into second base. The one guy I'm playing a lot of, I'm going to keep mentioning these Rockies. I've got Ryan McMahon on DraftKings as my cheap guy. I'm also doing some just complete full punts on DraftKings with Ben Williamson. He's nothing special, but potentially could be a decent enough real life player, and he's minimum salary. That's it. I got nothing else to say.
Okay, let's go to short.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
right?
great. It's great. We got all the stars. Most of them have pretty good matchups. Not quite like the best possible matchups, but all pretty good. Ellie is my favorite. And then for the salary, Corey Seager is my second favorite. He's not my second favorite straight up, but with salary considered, he's second. So I would go Ellie, Seager, Betts, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt, Trey Turner. Those six are awesome. And that's not to say I don't also love Tovar as a salary saver. Got a little bit of Willie Adames. That's it. Like, I'm not goofing around at shortstop. I don't have any random cheap nobody in a stack at shortstop like I do at other positions.
Yeah. All right, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a position I feel like every day we're going to pay up for as much as possible. Mookie, Witt. I like De La Cruz a lot here. I think he has a really good chance to get on base a bunch against Miller, which always adds 1 to 4 or 5 stolen base upside for him. So, I mean, and then, like, again, we keep talking about, like, teams that are just going to go overlooked today. I mean, Baltimore's going to go overlooked. I like Seager against Soriano. Like, these are top end shortstops that are not going to have any ownership today. Because, I mean, a lot of people I feel like are going to try to play Mookie. So yeah, I think this is a really good spot to pay up as much as you possibly can type position.
Okay, let's go to the outfield, where generally we can spend up, but also there's sometimes some cheapies that we like.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about Ohtani at first base. We love him. We think he's one of the top hitters on the slate. I think Mike Trout is another one of the top hitters on the slate. But just the Angels in general, Ward, Soler, Trout, Adele, like, you know, we don't love playing 3 outfielders from the same team. Today we're going to, because, I mean, the 4 of them are 4 of the best hitters on the slate in the position that they're in today. So, like all of the outfielders for the Angels, I like Conforto. I think he's in a good spot lineup-wise. That lineup just came out. But outside of that, I mean, Butler is someone I'm going to play a bunch of. Blade, I talked about how I like the Athletics. Rucker, Jose Ramirez against Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez can be reverse splitsy, so Rodriguez getting a ballpark bump going into Cincinnati, I think, is a good like home run spot for him. And then Luke Raley as well. Cheap hitter there, kind of opened some stuff up in the outfield, and he's batting 5th for Seattle today. So I don't mind him and a Rosarina. Those Seattle outfielders, I think, are in play.
Okay, good stuff, Cheese.
Yeah, it is what it is. Play all the things in all the price ranges. Because of how good outfield is, I'm more often playing Ohtani at first on DraftKings. I really think the Angels are going to be, I don't want to say chalk because there's so many outfielders, and there's more than 3 Angels outfielders. Like if you count Joe Adell as a cheaper guy, I think Ward and Soler are probably better plays than Mike Trout because of the salary. But I mean, Mike Trout is probably the second best play on the slate. But it's pretty hard to spend up for like 2 of the big outfielders if you're spending up at shortstop, and unless you're going real cheap with 2 pitchers. So yeah, I have more Ward and Soler than Trout, even though I love all of them. For that reason, I think I also probably have a little bit more Blade than Rooker. But all those Oakland outfielders are great. I also like the Luke Raley call for a cheap guy. We have Jesus Sanchez back in the lineup. I like Brandon Pfaadt, but he can pitch really well and give up a couple home runs. I don't mind a Sanchez for a cheap guy. Now that Teoscar's back in the lineup, any lineup where I had Will Smith, I'm going to see if I can redo that to get Teoscar in there. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably enough to mention.
Okay. Well, the people want some home run calls. We want some thumbs ups. If you're watching on YouTube, keep in mind it's free content because we want your eyeballs and we want your friends' eyeballs and we want the algorithm's eyeballs. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button for us so that we can keep the free content going. We got some questions coming in as well. You can ask those on the RotoGrinders Discord where the cool kids hang out, or in the YouTube. I will get to those as well. And lock is in 27, 28 minutes. So we will just take questions until the questions run dry. I doubt that we will get that amount of time and questions, but we'll see. Whatever happens. Let's talk about some bombs. Stevie, you get to lead us off. Somebody up top, somebody a little sneakier, maybe somebody in the middle if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go Soderstrom to hit a home run, Soler to hit a home run, and trying to go off the board a little bit with the last one. This one's not really off the board, but give me Cal Riley. Okay.
Cheese, your thoughts?
I will also go off the board with Shohei Ohtani.
Oh,
mid-tier, I'll go a little off the board with Kyle Manzardo. And for a cheap home run, how about Travis d'Arnaud?
Okay. Very good. Let's see what kind of questions we've got. My guy Zakakao in chat says, does Kevin just let the other 2 talk? Yeah. Yeah, they are the ones that know baseball. I know the weather. Unless it's about weather, I just let them do it. Let's see. In the old Discord, DKGPP from D-Rock. Cheese. D-Rock says, I'm stacking the Dodgers. You want Freeman Tovar, Betts Tellez, or Betts Moniak?
Ooh, I think I want Betts. Do Tellez. Like he's a good. He's kind of like Luke Raley, and batting right after him. Like he'd go 1 for 5, but the one could be a home run. So yeah, I like that.
Okay. Let's see. Stevie, I'm coming to you. Javier says, what about Tampa Bay? What about Tampa Bay? We like Tampa Bay. I'm from there. I don't know if we like their bats though tonight, Stevie.
Yeah, the problem with like Tampa is, some of these cheap bats like Meade, Montez, like probably getting the hook as soon as a righty comes in. So if you're building like Tampa teams, Sean Newcomb's very hittable. He struggles with control and command. Those are the types of pitchers you like to target. But like I'd stick to playing the guys you don't think get pinch hit for. Like Danny Jansen is a good like cheap catcher off of d'Arnaud. Diaz is really good against left-handed pitching. So I try to like think about like if Mead is in there and a righty comes in and Mead's going up for his third at bat, Brandon Lau is probably coming in if this game's close. So I think you're kind of staying away from like Montez and Mead in your stacks as much as possible. I don't mind maybe playing a little bit of them because they are so cheap, but yeah, I mean I think Tampa's in a good spot. I mean, Sean Newcomb is very hittable.
Okay, good stuff. Cheese, I got a question from Chris. He says, how about Beto to be different on FanDuel? He's 8K over there.
Yeah, I like him on FanDuel. When I said at FanDuel, I'm not going cheaper than 8K at pitcher. He's 8K. He's the guy that I'm playing. He's actually, I think, my second highest owned pitcher on FanDuel, Fott and Beto.
Okay, very good. Scrolling down just a little bit. Healthy Obsession says, this is your blood pressure raising question of the day. Cheese, is Josh Bell your favorite BVP play today?
Absolutely. Yeah, he is now. I didn't know it till now, but absolutely.
You don't even look at BVP, right?
I don't look at it at all. I have a different view on it than Cardi's view, but I don't look at it. My view is not that it doesn't exist. It absolutely exists, but we absolutely cannot know when it exists and when it doesn't. The numbers and the looking at it doesn't mean anything, and that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means we can't detect it.
Yeah. Yeah. When it's all said and done, many years down the road, we can look back and say it did or did not exist.
Only if both players tell us. Honestly, the numbers will never tell us.
Yeah.
We would need to hear it from both players, but the two players individually would know. That's it.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Is anybody playing Austin Hayes? Cheese, is anybody playing Austin Hayes?
I have 0.
Okay. Let's go down just a little bit more. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. Soderstrom is my cash FanDuel first baseman. Did I do it wrong? Jerry says.
No,
we like him. Yeah, you did not. This was a Cheese question specifically, and then we'll get back to a couple for Stevie. I don't know if he's trolling you. He says, are you playing Rockies bats for leverage or just because you like the spot?
Because I like the spot. Yeah, I don't think any pitcher is going to be high enough owned to matter. We don't have a 50% owned pitcher today. It's simply that I think Bobby Miller might literally walk 7 batters.
Yeah. Okay. Our guy Butho Jenkins says, Stevie, I got a gut feeling about Washington tonight. Is that crazy?
I mean, what's the feeling? Falter is not good. But who are you playing? I mean, Alex Call, I think, is in a good spot. Josh Bell is okay. Maybe a Dylan
Josh
Cruz,
Bell has BVP. Do you want to reword that?
But okay, and I have a different view than both of you. I mean, I think when you look into BVP a lot, it's going to match a lot of the pitch data. This guy hits fastballs well, and this guy throws a lot of fastballs. So, I mean, I think
that is not BVP. That's a good matchup.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. The only one that ever stood out to me, BVP, that was just you had to play it was Goldschmidt against Bumgarner. But Goldschmidt and Bumgarner both said that Goldschmidt saw something when Bumgarner was throwing. Right, exactly. Goldschmidt saw something when Bumgarner would throw fastballs, and he hit 5 home runs and 7 at bats because he saw something in his delivery, and that's not even BVP. That's just being a good hitter. So, anyway. As far as the Washington, I do have a couple mini stacks of those righties, but as soon as this guy that stinks at throwing baseballs is done throwing baseballs, you're going to get a bunch of righties, and then these guys don't really matter as much. So I don't think you'd play more than 2 or 3 Washington bats here. Maybe a 4-man if you're doing a 4-4 stack, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see, Stevie, right back to you. It's just a quick 2v2 on FanDuel from Power, Bubich, Mangum, or my boy P-Fat and Ohtani.
Yeah, it's not even close. As much as I like Bubich, that's Fott and Ohtani. Ohtani is the best hitter on the slate today.
Yeah. All right. Question for Roth. Love that. Will a strong left to right wind adversely affect stolen base percentage? I guess the theory being you're running into the wind going to second, and it's going to slow you down. No. Yeah. No.
What if the guy's really tall? Kind of like if you drive a van, it's worse in the winter than driving a Camry.
Right. What is his body mass? How tall is he? How wide are his shoulders? No, it's no. Cheese, who are your favorite Rockies? Who are your favorite Rockies to stack?
Let me refresh and see if we have a lineup. I think we do, but I hadn't seen it yet. Okay. So my favorites are Toglia, McMahon, Tovar, Goodman. And yeah, they're all in there.
Moniak. I just gave you a fifth one. There you go.
Moniak would be fifth. And then Bouchard would be next.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't understand why they're hitting Martini leadoff instead of Moniak, by the way. Moniak's a much better hitter than Martini.
Stevie, any love for Cruz Pirates variety?
Who?
Cruz.
O'Neill Cruz.
Right? O'Neill Cruz.
Oh, I mean, no. Listen, shortstop is so absolutely loaded today. Oh, I guess he's outfield eligible, but outfield
DK.
Yeah, like outfield is so loaded too. Like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Dean says, Roth, who's winning in the playoffs this year, Lightning or Panthers? Are we matched up? That's probably not good for the Lightning. I haven't been following hockey this year, but the answer is probably the Panthers. Andrew says, hey, Phillies? That's it. Phillies? Question mark? Cheese? Phillies? Question
Yeah,
mark?
I mean, there are 2 Robbie Ray rules, and one of them is you always stack against Robbie Ray regardless of anything. So if you are MME, and you better have a Philly stack or you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Cheese, is a Angels Rockies lineup chalky in a large field GPP?
No, the Angels are chalky. I wouldn't worry about it. The Rockies being chalky.
Okay, great. Going to you, Stevie. This is a question from Sherman Stanks on FanDuel. Beto and Carroll or PFAT and Soler?
The second one.
Okay. FanDuel single entry. Stevie, right back to you. How about some Giants? Nola's getting crushed by lefties and is making up for it by not striking out righties. Thoughts on a Giants stack?
Yeah, I like the Giants today. I talked about this on the podcast too. Like Nola's velocity is way down, and it's down enough where it's just he's not missing left-handed bats. So Yaz hitting leadoff, Jung Ho Lee in that 3-hole, and then like you have guys like Adames and Chapman who are better against right-handed pitching. So with Nola's strikeout rate down, almost 6% to righties, like these guys are in play. The one thing that I will say, if you are going to stack against Nola, is he is a good ground ball pitcher still against righties. He's going to generate a lot of ground balls. Adames is a fly ball hitter. He profiles well against Nola. So I don't mind it. You just know the risks. Aaron Nola could come out and his velocity could be up and he could pitch lights out in this spot. So I just don't believe in it. I think Nola is getting towards the end of like dominant Nola. So that's why I don't mind some Giants and probably why I'm way underweight on Nola today.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Cheese. We got Joseph in the YouTube. He says, Betts or J-Ram?
If you're doing a one-off, I would do J-Ram. Like they both have all the upside, and I think J-Ram is sneakier.
Yeah. Paul says, strawberry ice cream, yes or no? That's my favorite flavor, so that's a yes for me. Cheese?
I will eat some, sure.
Yeah. All right. No, nothing wrong with it. Let's see what else we've got. Matt Mervis. Is that a real name? Matt Mervis, birthday narrative.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. We were questionable, but now we're in. Let's see. Scrolling down.
I'm building a couple Rocky stacks now just because I feel like I would be so dumb if I don't build a couple Rocky stacks after listening to all the good points that Cheese has made. So yeah, just saying.
Yeah. Hoosiers Hang Banner says, by the way, and this was about the winds blowing left to right.
I saw this. It's great.
Bob Seger wrote a song about running against the wind. It is called Against the Wind. I know every word to that song because I am a weirdly massive Bob Seger fan for some unknown reason. It's a good one. Cheese, is Jock cooked?
Probably not. No, he's still going to hit home runs. It's much like the Max Muncy thing. Like these guys are always going to be very slumpy and then hit 4 home runs in a week and then go back to slumping. Like I don't think they're any different than they ever were probably.
Yeah. Javier says, Kevin, I've got a question for Cheese. Is it true that lefties are like blondes? They get a second look even if they don't deserve it.
It's probably not inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Okay, I like it. Let's see. Joseph says, pick two of these gentlemen, Stevie, Bubic, Ray, and Beto.
The first two, I think, have more upside than Beto. I think Beto might be a little bit safer, but I would play the upside on a slate where pitching is kind of I'd play Bubic and Ray and just hope that, like, the two, you guys were just making all the lefty comments. Like, let's just go with the two lefties there.
Yeah. Razzle Dazzle says, Stevie, your favorite cash pitcher on DK, 8,200 or less?
8,200 or less. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd take the upside and just play Ray. If you want a little bit safer, Parker. If you want to match the field, I mean, Bobby Miller is your, like, chalky SP2. If you just don't want to worry about, like, trying to be different.
Okay. Let's see. Cheese, Martinez, or Beto, FanDuel GPP?
Beto.
Blink says, I've got a lineup of batters I love. 8,400 average left for the two pitchers. Does Mr. Cheese or Stevie think Bubic and Schmidt is a good choice, or do they have a better combo? Cheese, do you have a better combo? Oh, we got TJ popping in.
Gavin Williams.
What was that? Did you whisper
Gavin.
Gavin?
I think he's saying Gavin Williams.
Over Schmidt. Bubic and Williams.
We over Schmidt, but don't play Williams. I think he had, yeah. I don't think either of us were playing Schmidt. Like, you got to see the pitch count up. Like, he's coming off the IL and he didn't top 4 innings in rehab. I don't have any Schmidt personally. I don't have any Gavin Williams either, although I think he's fine. I don't like him at that price. Like, I would play Zach Little over Schmidt, or I would just go down and play Beto over Schmidt.
Yeah.
Can we? I mean, he
Robbie
said
Ray also works there too with Bubic.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
goodness,
just play Ray
Robbie
and
Ray,
Bubic.
way better.
There you go. Ray and Bubic. Done.
Basically, neither of us are playing Schmidt.
Yeah, pitch count more than anything for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is tonight a night? Great America Small Park has a 10-9 game. 1 second. Let me look at the weather. No. I'm going no. We're in the 50s. No real wind help there. No. I'm going to say negative on that. Geez, do you have a different opinion?
No, it's a no for me. Like, that's a game. I have a couple batters from each team. Like, you probably see a couple home runs, but it's not super likely that either team goes nuts.
Jay Sam says, Stevie, which Rays have the highest pinch hit risk? Do you happen to have that on hand?
I mean, just by looking at it, not like the data of it, I would say that Meade and Montez would be the two guys that I'd be worried about the most. Maybe Taylor Walls, like those three. Those would be the three that I would stay away from playing a lot of.
Good stuff. Right back to you, Stevie. DePrince says, FanDuel, your favorite third baseman?
Hold on, I got to pull it up. You have another question, and I'll come back to that one.
Sure. Yeah. Cheese, one pitcher, one stack to take down a FanDuel tournament. We're going with the most expensive pitcher on FanDuel. What was his name again?
Bubic.
We're going Bubic and Angels mixing in some Rockies.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you mix in some Rockies, then you can play the Angels. I think that's actually the correct answer.
Yeah,
You've been listening. Simba's been listening the whole time.
I do listen. That's one thing I do. Let's see. Cheese is sorry, Stevie. Did you?
No, I was just gonna say, like, if did they say price doesn't matter? I would say Jose Ramirez would be my favorite third baseman. If price matters, I'd go down and go to like a Max Muncy. I don't know. Cheese has me on Ryan McMahon now. I might play a little Ryan McMahon. Morel is really cheap on FanDuel at 2,600 against Newcomb. I think that he's fine. So, I mean, I think that answers the question.
And now's a good time to pause and say, I'm talking about all these Rockies. I'm telling you, I'm going to play a lot of Rockies. It's still a very low probability play. This is the worst team in the league. It is most likely that you lose if you play Rockies. Just, I want to make sure that this is not like we're saying Dodgers, Angels, A's, and Rockies. No, it's Dodgers, Angels, A's, all these other teams, and also Rockies. You can see the upside though, but this is a very low probability play.
Okay, yeah, thank you for clearing that up. Let's see, Cheese, is Simeon worth a punt on FanDuel? He's 2,800 over there.
Not really. Like, if somebody is done, I think Simeon is more done than Muncy and Jock. He's not going to be as streaky. He's not going to fall off a cliff for 3 weeks where he goes 0 for 40. But I think he's kind of done, honestly. He'll still score runs. Like, it's not terrible for 2,800, but he's not a guy I'm going on my way to play.
All right. Let's see, Cheese, some cheap middle infielders.
So when you say middle infielders, you do not want to go cheap at shortstop. So I'm taking that question to be cheap second baseman. And if we're talking FanDuel, you don't really need them. So I'm taking that to mean cheap DraftKings second baseman. Gavin Lux is 3,300. Coco Montez, 2,500. Daniel Schneemann, 2,400. I think that's who I would say.
Okay. Dean says we need a Bob Seger tier rankings with special guest Kevin Roth. I'm in. And I'll tell you, night moves right at the top. Going, old time rock and roll. That's a classic, of course, but that's like middle for him. Night moves right at the top. Cheese, you got a favorite Bob Seger song?
I mean, it might be Running Against the Wind.
Yeah. And didn't he did the Ford one, Like a Rock? That was Bob Seger too.
Yeah.
He's got some
Old time rock and roll, man.
Yeah, he's got some absolute bangers. Let's see. Jeremy says Bob Seger Turn the Page is a classic. Yeah.
I just want to say, so I was just going to see if I forgot any. So I just typed into Google Bob S, and he's the second choice after Bob Saget. I might rearrange those if I was ranking Bob S's for Google, but good to know.
Yeah. Did you know that I am not the most popular Kevin Roth meteorologist? There's another meteorologist named Kevin Roth.
That's some wild stuff.
Isn't that insane? And he works for the Weather Channel. And so I think he retired. So now maybe I'm number one. But
there's another David Potts who's a musician. And for years, I got these weird royalties from some song that got played in Europe all the time. I was like, I don't know what song this is. It's that other guy who's pretty big in Europe. He actually has some of my money too, though. He was getting credit for one of my songs, but we got it worked out. But that guy's a big deal over in like northern sort of like Scandinavian Europe.
What do you do when you get a check and you're like, this is not my...
Well, they come through a company,
a
publishing company. And so you email them and say,
yeah,
I think you got me and this other guy. And they sort it out.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But for a while I was like, maybe I did write that song.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gotten like a check for Steve Young's like.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I would not have bothered emailing them.
No.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Crazy Coop, by the way, saying Night Moves is at the top of the Bob Seger tier list and it's not close. Yes, sir. Agreement.
Chat's just absolutely going at the other Kevin Roth right now. Just roasting them in the chat.
The worst. Hate that guy. I haven't scrolled down all that far. I'm trying not to skip any questions. He is a fraud. I'm in agreement. Here we go. We got a question. Martini, Moniak, Peterson. Stevie, Martini, Moniak, Peterson, or just your best hitter under 3,200?
I don't mind Moniak. Under 3,200 on DK. I'm guessing outfield because I think all those guys you mentioned were outfielders. Yeah, I mean, I think Sanchez is probably the chalk there. So I don't mind pivoting off of him. I don't mind Pham. Pham hits left-handed pitching well, and we mentioned Luke Raley. I don't mind those guys.
Yeah. Okay. Brendan says DK Cash, it's a 4v4, which generally I do not allow, but the only time I allow it is if you apologize for the 4v4. And he did. I don't know if he knew that rule or if he just lucked into it, but he says, sorry for the 4v4. And when you preface it like that, we will give you permission. Who wants this? Cheese, Stevie, who wants the 4v4?
I would love a 4v4.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. It's Devers, Raley, Rally, and Julio or Betts, Ward, Soler, and Fulford?
All right. Read it one more time.
Devers, Raleigh, and Julio, or Betts, Ward, Soler, and Fulford?
It's very close. So this Fulford guy is probably not anybody. Like, this is not some like super great prospect. So there's basically got 4 good players on one side versus 3 maybe better and a punt. I would go with the first one, I think, Devers and the 3 Mariners. But that's very close.
Okay. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We're 3-4 minutes into lock. I don't know how we've gotten this far, but we've done it. So hit that thumbs up for us while I continue to knock out some of these questions. Let's see, Stevie, you guys like any Sox? You like the Sox tonight? That's
I
my
mean, I
Boston
don't mind.
accent.
I don't
Which
mind the
color?
Red Sox.
Yeah, the red. If I do that accent,
Okay.
couldn't you tell?
I mean, I hope that's what it was. There are people in Chicago talk a little funny. I don't know.
That's true. They do.
Says the guy from Alabama.
Yeah. Let's see, Stevie, right back to you. Seager or Volpe in DK Cash at short?
Seager.
FanDuel Cash Cheese. It's a 3v3. Yandy, Edman, and De La Cruz, or Freeman, Caminero, and Soler.
Yandy Edmanelli.
Okay. Javier says Cheese, stack LA with Trout or swap Trout for a one-off Ohtani.
I honestly like swapping Trout out for Ohtani, assuming that's LA the Angel stack, because then you have a different Angel stack with the same upside. I actually really like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, it seems wrong to do that, but that's the way you win a tournament with chalk.
Yeah. Okay. Crazy Coop says the other Roth uses Celsius. Yeah. Forget that guy.
That's who TJ listens
Sorry,
to.
TJ.
Celsius is superior.
You're right, actually. I don't want to get into it, but you're correct. Yeah. Let's see. Must play pitchers on DK. Can I have one? This is very nice. Bill says, Kevin, your weather reports for MLB are outstanding. I've been using them for years. Thank you for all your time and hard work to help all of us. That's awesome. I love hearing that. I'm really glad that people use it and that it's useful. So thank you. Geez, any must play pitchers on DK?
So to that question, no, the whole point of this slate is there are no must play pitchers.
Yeah.
Fott is my SP1, but he's miles away from being a must play.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Stevie, over to you. We got less than 2 minutes into lock. FanDuel Cash at third. McMahon, Muncy, or somebody else at 2-9 or less?
Muncy's fine for cash.
Okay. The other Roth drinks Tecate, which is like the off-brand Mexican beer that is not as good as Pacifico, I think is the tie-in, which is really good, Andrew. Good. That's good work right there. Dumper, Manzo, or Soler? Dumper, who the hell is Manzo? Is that a real person?
Manzardo.
My home run call.
Okay. So, Cheese, is it Cal Raleigh, Manzardo, or Soler if Manzardo was your home run call?
Well, but Cal Raleigh was Stevie's home run call, and he would have been mine if Stevie hadn't gone first. So it's actually Cal Raleigh.
Oof.
Soler was one of my home run calls too. So
yeah, all 3 of those are in the primary pool for me. I love all 3 of them.
Yeah. I've angered the Tecate drinkers, by the way, with my disparage. I just put Pacifico on another tier than any other beer. So to me, it's a knockoff. Let's see. We are just here we go. FanDuel Cash, Stevie, Carroll or Trout?
Trout.
Okay. Hey, guess what? We did it.
So you know what? Because in that question, there's one thing we didn't touch on at all at any point in this slate is either Max Meyer or the Diamondbacks. I'm curious if Stevie feels the same way. I buy into Meyer being a good pitcher now. Like, I think he's for real, but you don't want to pick on the Diamondbacks. But I think he's for real enough. You don't really want to play the Diamondbacks in Miami. So that's why we didn't really mention anything from that game. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Meyer's good, like legit. Similar to Bubic. Like, I think both of these kind of breakouts early on are probably real. Bubic more so, but that's the reason we didn't mention any Diamondbacks. Certainly playable. Meyer could still have bad starts in him, and there's the bullpen, but that's why we never really got to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you agree, Steve? You think he's?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to go waste like 10 minutes, go look at Max Meyer's like slider info on Baseball Savant. It might
that is
actually
not
be,
a
like,
waste.
elite.
That is not a waste of 10
Yeah,
minutes.
I mean, it might actually be elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to clear on out of here. We did the things we came to do. So for Stevie, for Cheese, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. TJ, there he was popping in. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.